22nd. And we have a scheduled budget committee meeting. So I will first open with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So we have one likely not attending and one potentially late. So we'll see how that goes. So review in addition to the agenda. I don't think I have anything to add. Does anybody else?
I'd like to add one under school business to the extent that we're able. Just an update on the progress of the district capital planning committee, if there's an update.
All right. Excellent. All right. So then we have 2 sets of meeting minutes that are currently out, I believe.
Yep.
Because Michelle's good, but that would have been like spectacular.
Have the other two next week.
I was like, you're lucky I got these out in time. So, all right. So we have, are there any comments we had a couple from Nikki regarding a couple of
I did get
line orders.
those. Yep,
And
I got those.
so
Those are all set and changed.
so just so everybody knows, they're just a matter of updating like line numbers on the page. And I believe there's one that had a typo in the word. So very minor. So are there any other additions, changes, corrective? All right. So are there any motions?
So moved.
A motion to approve both or just one? Let's start with one.
We'll just start with one because the other one's the budget hearing. So yeah, I will make a motion to approve the minutes of June 27th, 2019.
Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And those who abstain? Everybody here?
I think we are all.
700.
Excellent. All right, so that leaves us with one more set of meeting minutes, the budget hearing.
And just anyone that's interested from the public, I think Michelle did a really good job of the summary from the presentation that we got from NHMA on the budget finance. So, you should all be checking out all the meeting minutes, but especially June 27th.
I appreciate that.
The budget hearing, I thought you did really good since apparently there was a lot of mumbling going on, so great job.
I'm not going to give away my secrets. I'm always ready for those. I have a template. I don't do that much typing.
Right. So the meeting minutes of August 5th.
I didn't notice any changes to be made on August 5th, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Made and second?
Second.
All right, you two can fight over the second. So there's been a motion to approve and to second the minutes of August 5th. All those in favor, again, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. Those opposed and those who abstain. Excellent. 700. All right, so even though our last scheduled meeting regular meeting was 2 months ago, we've had quite a bit of correspondence in between. We've had several letters that I forwarded to you this afternoon, so I don't know if you got them.
Probably not. That's fine.
We can list them. There were quite a number of residents who sent in letters in support of the contract. I sent out earlier today an email that was summarized the court hearing from Dr. Jetty, which included the 7 points that he indicated. There was a lot of correspondence setting up for the budget hearing. There were some meeting minutes and reports. I think I covered most of the correspondence since then, unless anybody can think of anything I missed.
I'd like to thank again everyone who took some time to write in, either in favor of or against the contract.
Yes.
We do appreciate your input, and thank you very much.
Yep. Yes. I second that sentiment. It was definitely very good to see people involved. So that's correspondence reports. That brings us to the town. Oh, actually, correspondence. I promised to make a reminder. On this committee, we're trying to be incredibly sensitive to transparency, and it only takes 5 people to set a quorum, and so when we start hitting reply all on emails, all of a sudden we can get ourselves in trouble. So I know I've probably been a little lax myself, especially on various posts. So we really need to be erring on the side of being totally transparent, so people don't think we're wheeling and dealing on email or Facebook or anything else. So we really need to limit our correspondence and discussion as a group to this room. So if I'm sending an email out, please just respond back to me, and so that we don't trigger those online conversations that can quickly turn into a meeting that we didn't intend to have, and now people think that we're not being as open as we should be. So I understand it's difficult in today's day and age. Everybody's so used to communicating by email. It's second nature for a lot of us. So we just all have to try to make sure that we're very intentional about not doing that. So, right.
I'm very guilty of that.
It's a change of mindset, right? Because
it's-
in business, it's very easy. You get things done very efficiently that way.
Rather than sending out multiples, I just say reply all. So
Yeah.
I have nothing to hide.
No, I just don't want people to turn into a massive conversation, and all of a sudden people are like, wait a minute, that's not. You're 180 degrees from where you were at the last meeting. How'd that happen? So let's just have that discussion here. So it's probably overly conservative, but we won't find ourselves in trouble.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't naming any names. Like I said, I myself have been
So
pointed out.
in the spirit of full transparency, right? One of the emails sent was today after I had performed a town budget review based upon the budget that was circulated as they are every week, but I specifically on August 16th.
Yep.
I just did a spot check of the budgets, right? And looked at the numbers and where we're trending across all the town budget lines. This is specific to the town. And I've sent out an email to our chair asking a series of questions to be answered by the town and town administrator. Not expecting a response tonight on any of them, but just and that triggered some reply alls. That's all. So.
No, it's just a matter of just a quick mindset and reminder. It's a good.
Maybe give you a couple of answers. I don't know if I can answer them all because some of them are still out there.
All right. Well, when we get to town business, yeah, by all means.
But just we've had the discussion. It's just it's a good reminder to everybody.
Don't get in trouble.
Well, again, a guilty party here too. So we're all going to work on it and just make them be a little more intentional about making sure that we don't do that. All right. So moving on to reports, town business, general update, financial, budget review schedule, and the schedule of facility tours, and anything else you'd like to share with us. It's up to you, my friend.
Just Mr. Cutter's, whatever I can lend to that. I have it on my phone. I'm not texting people. The assessing, I think that is still going on.
See, now I have to pull it up.
Okay.
I don't remember all the questions. But.
That was on assessing, and the question was, when does assessing services get billed? I believe it's when they are at a certain percentage and then when they complete.
Yeah, and just again, for everyone following along, the 2019 approved budget for assessing was $47,410, and the actual spent was $983 as of Friday. So my question was, when does the assessing services get billed? My assumption was that was continuous throughout the year, but in the budget, it doesn't appear that way. So I just thought that was a little bit odd and worth raising a question.
Yep. The second one was the NRPC planner, which is 16,000 below what was approved. They might not have billed for all that they've done, and that's an ongoing thing. When they do a service, they bill the town accordingly. It could mean that we're doing a good job not using them. The third one is the cemetery groundskeeping. It's a little over budget, and we haven't had a cemetery meeting yet, so, which I sit on the Pinecrest Cemetery. I don't know why it's over. We can ask that at the meeting. I can get back to you on that.
Yeah, I just remember in years past, it used to be fixed price for both cemeteries.
Yes.
And so to have it be over was just, again, a red flag. And I wanted to raise
Absolutely.
awareness.
Yep. Public notices and ads. That one, we've sent 2 rounds of advertisements out for a building inspector position through various means. And I think Troy said that they were both fairly expensive in the $1,000 range because we did a bunch of area newspapers and other media sources. So that's why that's over. Hopefully that's done with. Police department seminars, I don't know about that. We'll have to ask Troy on that one. And I'll write that down to ask him. Vehicle repairs, fire department heating.
Yeah, so this is one, again, just for those following along. We budgeted $7,665, and currently, as of August 16th, we had spent $17,506. Also, under the understanding we have a new fire station. Right? I appreciate that, but that was also, I believe, factored into the budget. So I just wanna,
Yeah, and they were running heat at both facilities for a while, I believe. the old one while they were still there and the new one while they were constructing it. So I believe that's the big part of that. We can try to reach out
It'd be
to the
interesting
chief.
to know if any of those are because of the heaters that were during construction. Is that where they got charged to?
You know, part of my asking some of these questions is in preparation for what we're about to go through here in a month,
Yep,
right? And
absolutely.
what's the right budget number?
Yep.
And that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yep. Yeah, all, for the record, all these questions are very good questions and they're very well thought out. So, let's see, fire protective gear, that's down. I have no idea why that's down. Maybe it just hasn't appeared yet. That's another one. I'll try to reach out to Troy and have him reach out to chief.
Yeah, and again, just on that one, right, it sounds like, or it appears that we budgeted some money for some very specific gear for our firefighters.
Mhm.
And if it was such a priority, why haven't we used it?
Yep.
Right? And it could be one of these things where it's just invoicing too. So,
Salary code enforcement. What is the status? 69,000 appropriated and nothing is spent. I don't know why nothing is spent because we've had a couple of temporaries.
So there's a separate temporary line that I also saw that I
Did
did
you?
question.
Okay,
Yes.
for the
Yep.
part-timers?
Yep, and
Okay,
that is above what we budgeted, and that
Okay.
makes sense to me. So this is truly about,
where's that money?
where are we in the status of hiring somebody?
Okay, this, as far as I know, an offer has been made to one of the candidates. We're waiting to get final word from Chief Freitzel about that, whether or not it's accepted and a possible starting date. Last I heard was maybe middle of September. Highway road maintenance. I don't know where any of that stands because as you know, our road agent retired. And the full-timer has been promoted to fill that slot until Mr. Pinciaro's term is expired, and then we'll figure that one out there. But I don't know why that's not. There should be some things in there because I see little blurbs here and there. Again, we'll ask Troy about that. Okay. Catch basin replacements. That sounds like it's coffee.
Yeah.
$5.59.
I'm thinking this is just some type of accounting
Yeah.
error.
Yeah.
But so there's a $10,000 line item for catch basin replacements for the year. And there's a charge for $5.59. So I just raised it as a red flag.
Salt purchases is the next one.
Yep.
As far as I know, there's plenty of salt for right now. Might need more if we have a really bad winter, but it seems like the barn is pretty full. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. And I was hoping that was the answer, given that, you know, we're pretty much almost depleted of that budget.
Yep.
So I just want to make sure that there's adequate.
Absolutely.
On our tour, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, on the
you
tour,
would
it
have seen
was
at the
quite
tour.
full.
It was quite full. Yeah.
I wasn't part of that tour, so I didn't see it.
Yeah. Well, if you go back, it's online because they were wonderful to record it. So you can take a.
Not quite sure what the highway vehicle lease is, which is the next one.
I'm assuming this is for the road agent's truck.
In the old budget, it was a plow truck.
Okay.
These 2 of 6 pay off in 2023.
So it could be just timing. I know
Yep.
typically they make those lease payments on an annual basis whenever it's due.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it just hasn't gone.
It just hasn't hit yet. That's fine.
I think the personal protective gear for the fire department is supposed to be 5 sets of protective gear. So depending on when they ordered it and get billed.
Sure.
Street lighting, I have absolutely no idea what the status of that is. We haven't talked about that to my knowledge.
Yeah, and this is just kind of on a conversation that I remember having years ago.
Yep.
Where there was talk at the time to switch it all over to LED.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's.
There was a reason we chose not to. And
Yeah.
I think it had to do with maintenance and who
Yeah.
owns taking care of them after you make that switch.
Okay.
But it's definitely worth having again because you never know how the program might change.
I'm sure that will flush out in the budget. So
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
fine.
I think that's what John Burnell had said, that it was about the maintenance afterwards and the cost. But always a good conversation.
Animal control, which is the last 2 you have, I don't know about those 2. I don't know anything about them. I can ask, again, we'll ask Troy. I'm going to forward this email to Troy, just in case I'm not completely correct on something.
I thought they put in a split mini system.
They did a heating system. I remember those discussions. My main concern is not the heating or electricity; it's the building repair line. So we budgeted $750, but it's $750, and we spent $11,674.
Yeah, that's something's, yeah.
So just curious.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, the conversation on the new forestry apparatus that I had saw posted on social media. My understanding through discussions is it sounds like that was grant money, which is great.
Yeah, I didn't see
But
it in
obviously,
the old
there's
budget.
still some costs about outfitting it that you're probably going to do some painting, that type of thing. And I just don't know where those line items hit.
Again, I would have to ask Chief on that, but,
I do know that they did a lot of it in-house, so I'm not sure like whether they were charging regular hours we already have. I don't know, but it's definitely worth a discussion. So that's what those are.
Thank you very much.
is that K for close?
You did great. Perfect.
Let's see, and so that was general financial update. So all in all, how's the budget looking for the year where we are? We're in good shape?
Yes, as far as, yes, I think it is. If I can find it, I'll pull up the last one I got. And of course, I can never find Heather. I don't know, just, the last I knew, we were right in line with everything. Okay. And I can't find the recent one she sent.
Okay.
Okay.
But nothing different.
I will ask Troy if there's anything different, but I don't think there is. Last I heard, we were right on budget.
And I'd ask about the PFOA update, but I think that's continuing just
Yes, it is, yeah.
to drag itself out. But that's, will have an impact on our legal costs as we continue to go forward. I had hoped we'd be done with it at some point in my lifetime, but I think it's just gonna be an ongoing legal cost that we may or may not one day recover. Have we talked about the budget review schedule from the town side as to when, because we're supposed to start kicking that off in early October as to, I had sent Troy the order in which we reviewed them last year. I don't know if he plans to continue that same order or change it or.
He has not mentioned any changes.
All right, so I'll confirm with him because
Yep.
budget season is going to kick off before we know it. And school in 2 weeks and then budget season 4 weeks after that. So get ready.
And I think he's attending those meetings when the town budget is up, so.
Excellent. And then believe the plan is like last year, we will go through the departments and I believe we had one big
Mhm.
meeting and discussed it in total instead of going line by line by line. Or of a big picture budget. That's how we've done it. We are willing to entertain other options if you'd like,
How are you looking at me?
because
Well,
I know.
it's the will of the committee, right? I'm happy to do it. I know from the school side, right, that I was specifically requested by the chair of the school board to go line by line. So that is my intention.
I mean, we can discuss it line by line, but I believe the major adjustments were done more as a
Okay.
department. And then we have the schedule of facility tours that came through today. So he was sent to the budget committee. So it covers, and just so everybody knows, we did them Monday, June 17th, we visited the highway department. So the next, this is the schedule so far. Look, everyone.
Does everybody have that?
I believe it was sent on. So it says that,
I don't think.
I just got it.
yeah, it just came through. It came through 20 minutes ago. So I didn't have it before this meeting, so I didn't print it out. Let's see. It says the schedule that Chief Freitzel would like everyone to tour the new fire station. So we're working on that date. Still working on it, but it seems like a tentative date of September 12th. But then they have Thursday, September 5th would be a visit. Yeah, okay, so we haven't started budget season then. So Thursday, September 5th would be Aaron Cutler Memorial Library, the Cable Studio, Old Fire Station, and Talent Hall. So 3 of the 4 are pretty closely approximated to each other. Thursday, September 12th at 6:30 would be the town office, police station, and potentially the fire station. Also, again, similarly situated area, so that's great. Monday, September 30th at 6:30, solid waste and recycling facility and the dog kennel. So this is the currently proposed schedule. So just so that people can start thinking about their availability and plans. And we'll keep you posted if anything changes because it seems like the fire station tour is not a confirmed date. Are there any, and if anybody thinks of any other areas that they'd like to visit or tour, let me know and we can see if we can work that into the schedule as well. I think he's covered
I
it.
would flip the question, if you don't mind, and if there's any priorities that are not covered
Okay.
from the board's perspective,
Mhm.
then we should include those.
Okay.
I'll do my best. I think, I don't know if I'm available on the 5th. You might have to be without me.
Well, hopefully they'll talk to our wonderful TV people, and maybe we can record them again so we
Yeah,
can.
because I would definitely watch it.
So I'll leave that to Troy, and to our wonderful rep over here, but that would be a lovely idea if they're available and you can offer them coffee or something. Maybe they'll show up.
I love coffee.
So let's see. So is there anything else that under town business that we should know, we need to know, we missed? You'd like us to know, tell us?
No, we're working on the building inspector. That's going fairly well. Like I said, we made an offer. We don't have, we did promote the part-timer to full-time on the highway department to help out. So now we're back to 2 full-time people. And we do have a part-timer as well. It's a summer kid working $12 an hour, something like that, helping mow grass and things like that. So we have the 2 full-timers and a part-timer as we had. Other than that, we're working on the transfer from Chief O'Brien to Captain Sergeant for the police department. It seems to be going okay. Troy's handling that with him and Mr. Weber. Chief O'Brien is retiring next year.
Correct.
And Captain Sergeant is going to transition into the.
Oh, I didn't know that decision had been made.
Yep. Yeah, we made it a couple months ago, I believe, at the board.
Yeah.
So we're working on that.
Chief Sergeant.
I know there was talks about promoting from within. I
Yes.
just didn't know that
Yep.
it was finalized.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, he's been with the town over 10 years, I think, probably closer to 15. Come up through the ranks and everything, yeah. It's kind of nice to reward someone who's gone through
Absolutely.
And it saves a lot of money from having to do an outside search and all that. Probably saved the town $15,000 to $20,000.
And now you need to backfill a police officer, right?
Yeah, so we just hired a police officer, actually. We got one from Hudson, which
Great.
is nice. Yep, filled the position that I believe was made vacant by the officer that had hurt himself, and he's no longer on the force, Officer Hartley. So we do have a new one. He's seems to be a really nice guy and a good fit, and lives in town, so.
Wonderful.
So
always
are we
good to have
back to a
home
full
ground.
complement then?
I think we're still short one.
Oh.
Yeah, we have one of our officers is being deployed
Again?
as well. What?
Another
Yeah,
one?
he's being deployed. Brown, yeah, he's being deployed. Yeah. Not hurt, he's deployed.
No, I
It's in
get
the
it. No,
military.
we had one deployed. He came
Yep,
back and then we have
Yep,
another one.
yep,
Okay.
so this is another one, yeah.
Okay.
So,
We appreciate his service.
Yep.
It's just
yes. So I think that's it.
excellent.
Any other questions?
I'm aware of this. So that moves into the school.
Okay. General update, teachers return next week on Tuesday for district-wide PD, Wednesday for building PD and setting up classrooms, same with Thursday, and then Friday off, and students return on the 3rd. Dr. Jetty gave a great overview last night of the hiring over the summer. We're in great shape going into the school year. Can just throw a plug out there. We do need paraprofessionals at 2 of the schools and a number of coaching vacancies. If people are interested, those are, I believe, posted on the website, correct, Michelle?
Yeah.
I think they're posted, but there are a number of coaching opportunities. So that's general. Financial, really, it's kind of a holding pattern. We just had the audit completed on August 1st. We're still waiting for the final numbers on that. And Dr. Jetty informed me that DOE 25, which is the New Hampshire required year-end financial report, is due on 9/1. So we'll have everything tied up after that, and the numbers will be available for the next meeting. Summer projects, you guys didn't get the list, right? We just got it last
There
night from Corey.
was items that were encumbranced, but not necessarily.
Everything, all the summer major projects are done. All the doors are done at CHS. The fencing's up at the elementary school. A couple exterior doors have been replaced. I believe the keypads have all been standardized, I believe. Is that what it was, Michelle?
What was that?
The keypads have all been changed also for the
Yes,
the
we're
passes
getting
of all
new
the buildings.
badges.
So it's new badges will be done professionally at the opening day. And I believe that was all Homeland Security recommended. So we're in good shape there. And Corey wasn't at the meeting. I don't have the exact numbers, but the last time I heard, everything came in at or below budget. Kindergarten's fully done now, so we're in good shape with that. Teacher's contract update, it's still a holding pattern. As soon as, I guess, he explained the process to us last night. And what will happen is it will be posted electronically, and the district's attorney will have access to that and get it as soon as he hears. I guess it's literally a matter of sending it out, and we'll start the process. Everything has to, as I think everybody's heard a number of times, everything has to be ongoing just because we don't know if it's going forward. If he approves it, then things will go forward with the vote. If not, everything will just stop at that point and go until the winter.
So as of now, everybody just plans to be at the school for deliberative on September 3rd.
September 3rd is when
Unless we hear no, we're moving
Yeah.
forward with that. Okay. And then kindergarten enrollment, I heard.
So-
kindergarten enrollment. We had a good discussion about that last night. Currently, we're at 72 kindergarten students. Mr. Thompson and Dr. Jetty have talked at length about that, and they both agree right now, based on previous enrollments, that we're going to hold where we are. We do have one other enrollment coming in on the 1st of October, I believe. We'll get us to 73, but we're still 4 away from that trigger point. At this point, Dr. Jetty and Mr. Thompson and the board agreed that we hold where we are.
So if you're holding out and waiting to enroll until next week, please get into the office so they have time to set up a classroom. Otherwise,
That'll be the big
please,
thing, yeah.
please, like we did that last year, not fun. So please.
And really the only thing, along with the teacher's contract, you did give us a great sheet last night. Currently, with teachers retiring, with teachers in the district, with new hires coming in, the district's showing a savings. Now, we don't have the final numbers because we don't have benefits information for all the new hires. But salaries alone, it looks like about a $65,000 savings as of right now with the changeovers, both through retirements and
Okay.
teachers leaving.
So back to the financial update. I think one of the things that had been mentioned to me was that the food services program seems to be running a deficit.
It ran a little bit of a deficit this year.
And since that's supposed to be self-funded,
Self-funded.
how is that going to play into the budget?
We expect that to be a 1-year feature. I don't know if you guys.
There are a lot of
you have
changes
kids,
that
a lot
happen.
of changes. We actually had just a wonderful experience, and I'd encourage. I don't honestly know what the rules are as far as working in a school, but I'd encourage you to go in and see it. She's doing amazing things. I think a lot of her focus was on, and Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of her focus was on the high school this year. They're currently really focusing on the elementary school. As a matter of fact, she led the charge to get the cafeteria repainted. I haven't seen it, but it supposedly looks beautiful. They got rid of the bright orange. A lot more balanced meals. She's doing a phenomenal job getting back onto federally compensated meals. Not that we weren't doing correctly before. She's putting meals together that kids really like, which is not only helping sales, but then helping the reimbursement from the government. And again, this is going off memory.
Well, I look forward to seeing the new menu because I know
The menu's good.
Our experience.
But I think where the deficit came from this year is a lot of equipment that hasn't been used regularly in the past because the way food is prepared is now needed either replacement or repair.
Oh, okay.
They're actually back to using a lot of the utensils they didn't use in the past.
Okay.
Um,
So capital improvements.
capital improvements, and the intention is with these improvements this year, she should be more than fine. next
Who's
year.
running the program now?
Michelle? What's her? I forget her.
Lauren
name.
Crowe.
Lauren Crowe.
Oh, nice work, Lauren.
She's doing we all went in,
Great
we were
job.
invited in, we all went in for a day, and just seeing the kids are excited about the food. The food
That's
looks,
Let's give her a shout
I
out.
work in a school. The food looks appetizing, unique things. I'm sure you heard about like the taco bags where they can get, what is it? Fritos,
I want a taco bag.
red.
Oh, kind of like a walking taco bag.
Yeah, it's like Fritos, red Doritos, or blue Doritos, and they put the taco meat in the fillings and mix it up, and it's just things that the kids like.
I was just gonna say, you should reach out to the superintendent and ask.
Reach out
if
to
you can,
Mike.
because they did that with the school
They
board
did
this
it
year,
in-
and it was.
And I was, and I love the district I work in, but I went back and was telling my principal, I'm like, this lady's doing amazing.
Well,
Don't
yeah.
steal her.
Yeah, and not to knock other schools, but you don't see the hot dog with peas or the lasagna with peas, which kills me. She's making balanced meals that make sense when they go together, and the kids are liking it. The numbers are what? Thousands.
Yeah.
So we're going to start seeing that at the other schools then because.
We've already seen huge increases in the numbers. I'll bring the
Well,
numbers. next
those
time.
aren't meals I necessarily see at our schools, so I'm kind of.
Well, it's an
trickling
ongoing
down.
process.
Right, so it's filtered.
And it
She's
is
focused
changing.
and she's moving.
One other thing I should point out, not so much your kids are elementary.
Mhm.
One thing she brought up, which I had no idea, it's not personally, I don't pay too much attention to it, is numbers at the high school are way down because they're big kids. And somewhere along the line, the fact that elementary kids get this portion, middle school kids get this portion, high school kids get this portion was lost. So she's given correct portion sizes
Oh,
now,
that's good.
which is a big reason that the numbers of it.
Oh, yeah, 'cause why would you want to buy a tiny little
Yeah.
thing when you want?
Yeah, so I think she's doing amazing things. And things will help academically also. They took the ticket counter, and in the morning they have a coffee shop open for kids at the high school. Just some really unique things to just change the vibe.
That's great.
So,
I look forward to seeing.
and Andrew, I'm sorry.
Yep,
Is there
go
any other
ahead.
questions?
Nope, no.
Capital planning, I honestly haven't heard. I kind of forgot about it over the summer. I think they met, I know they met late last year as kind of a planning meeting. And I think it kicks off again when the school gets back into session in September. So
Thank you,
I'll
Rick.
check on this and have it back for next month.
We'll just make sure we put it back on the agenda so we don't lose it.
Yeah, well, I know we as a committee voted on that, but it'd still be nice to get updates and whatever's
Yep.
coming out of that
If
committee.
we're able, yeah, that'd be good. Madam Chair, would you be interested in emailing Dr. Jetty to see if we could do some sort of tour? Or are there people interested in that? I don't have any kids, so it's weird if I just go into the school. But I would like to see some of this.
We've done that years ago, and I think that makes a lot of sense,
Yeah,
right?
so I would-
Especially, again, to the extent that our budgets support school district objectives for whatever those objectives are. Of course, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So,
Right. Sure, I will absolutely reach out to Dr. Jaddy about setting up that tour.
And I will say, working in schools, to get back to Carrie's statement about, the food, seeing the food that a lot of schools serve day in, day out, you're not comparing this to Ruth Chris, but if you compare school to school, it is amazing what she's doing. Literally amazing. I'm
All
seeing
right.
the numbers.
one other point, just while we're
Yep.
on the school budget, I did send Madam Chairman an email that was sent to the superintendent as well regarding actual costs for this special election that I think we as a committee should just understand. So I know there was some email exchange about,
We haven't-
how to send that. So I'd like to make the formal request during a public meeting, right? Although
Make sure
it was following the appropriate channels in email, by the way.
Mhm.
But I would like to request all of the costs as a summary for this committee to understand associated to the special election.
I'm sorry.
And I don't have the exact numbers. We talked about it at the last meeting before to see where we were. I believe the number right now, excluding legal fees, is below 5,000. I want to say it was like 4,800, excluding legal fees.
That's to date though, right? That doesn't include the printing.
That
of
was
the
pretty, that
Some of
was
those are projected.
projected.
Okay.
Some of those are projected.
And the final
salaries
number-
For town clerk and
Yeah.
the ballot clerks and the moderator and stuff like that. That's projected
And there was
based on
talk,
hours of the election.
and there was talk about printing them in-house.
I would
as
say
a-
the key
We
component of
will
that
be
is the
printing
legal.
them in-house.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
going to be
exactly,
very
yeah.
minimal cost because they
Yes,
have to
no.
be paper ballots.
Yes, no.
Will we
Have
be
to be
able to
made
find out what the
legally
legal
counted.
cost is
When it's over.
when it's over?
Yeah, I'm sure we can get a ballpark for
Mhm.
right now, but I'm sure we're not billed for it. I would just point out, I brought up that our meeting was on Monday, I think, during the day. We had a quick meeting to vote. One of the things you have to look at also, if the judge approves the election, we will actually be saving on legal costs because we were so much closer to the contract having just negotiated for the last fall. If the contract doesn't, or I'm sorry, if the vote doesn't go forward in October, we're gonna have to go through the entire legal expense next March again. So in a way, if this is approved, that's another benefit to the district. Probably will save legal costs over what we would spend next March because I don't want to think about it, but it's not going to be, I'd imagine it's going to be a completely new renegotiated contract would be my guess because they'll have lost another year. So it'll be a grind again.
I know there's a lot of people in town that are angry that we're spending this money when the voters said no in March.
Well,
That's
the voters can say no again in October. I mean, it's up to the voters. It's not a hidden process. We've gone through the steps and it's perfectly
But it sets a
legal.
bad precedent too. If anything gets voted down or voted in at a town election, somebody that doesn't like it can challenge it in court and seek a new election.
Well, I think there's a very narrow guideline for that. I don't think it's any vote.
Declare
any
an
election
emergency.
at any time.
Well,
Yeah.
fortunately, that's,
Yeah.
our responsibility was the financial aspects. They can make that, they made their argument, whether we agree with it or not. And
It's true.
like you said, And I've explained my concern to several of them is that the school is going to have to address this warrant on two fronts.
Mhm.
One is convincing people that it's a fiscally responsible contract, which we supported as a committee. But they're also going to have to understand that there are people who are going to want to vote no to send the message. So there is going to have to be, they have to understand that there's two separate discussions that they're going to have on this. And that's up to them to make that argument that it was worth it.
Yep.
But our focus was it a good value to the voters? Is it a good deal for the teachers? And does it help them accomplish their mission? So.
And you feel bad for the teachers because they're kind of caught in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
So
So it's a tough position,
they
but
want a contract and they deserve a contract. It's just whether or not people think it's worthy.
And and I want to point out, that's the key point. It's not the special election they should be voting for. It's if they think the contract is worthy. And it is a much fairer contract than for the town.
Yep.
This contract.
And it probably would have passed in March if it was this contract.
100% agree with you.
Yep.
I honestly believe if we had gotten to this in March, it would have passed.
I think that this is a new grounds for all of us, and I think there were a lot of lessons learned on both sides that I hope going forward that we may not find ourselves in this position by actually asking instead of moving forward. I think that the school has been receptive, from what I understand, to a lot of that criticism, and they're going to consider that going forward.
Yeah.
But they're still stuck in a situation where they have teachers with no contracts.
Yeah.
So, and they did follow the process that they're allowed to do, whether we agree with it or not. So, are there any other issues with the school or questions, comments, concerns, items we didn't cover that we should have? Nope. All right. So that goes into member input or new business. What you got? We can start over here if you'd like. That way you don't feel like I'm always looking at you. You guys have anything?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nothing from my side.
All right. So that's it. We have, I think I skipped public input because there wasn't anybody here. And probably because I gave so much to fill on Monday. I totally forgot about it. So to our welcoming public. All right.
Well, all I wanted to say was just, I think it was, like you said, I think everybody learned a lot through this whole process. I think it was hard for us because our last official meeting was in June.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a lot of stuff that went down that we didn't get an official meeting to have a conversation because we're not allowed to have a discussion on email.
So hard.
Just in general, I mean, I think everybody tried to do it on the up and up and tried to do the best that they could. That's really how I saw it. But I think if anybody feels like anything was left unsaid or anybody's got any hard feelings, this is the forum, the only forum that we have to voice that, So unfortunately, that's just the structure.
Well, and everybody's busy in the summer. Trying to get that date was hard enough. Try to
Right.
get too many meetings. Good luck. So, all right.
Can I just found the report just to let you know, to get an idea of how she's doing in food services. The differences are in the month of May 2018 at the three schools, she sold about rounding up about 30. She sold about 9,000 lunches in the month of May in 2018. This year she sold just under 11,000. And that's reimbursable lunches. That's not total lunch. That's in the month. She sold reimbursable lunches where we get, I think it's a credit from the combination federal and state
Get
government.
money from.
Because she's selling what's considered a fully nutritional lunch, not just 3 bags of chips to somebody. And I'd just like to point that out because there is a deficit this year. I think those numbers are going to turn around completely over the next few years. The numbers and it took off slow because kids don't like chain, they like the peanut butter and jelly and the grilled cheese, but the numbers just grew dramatically throughout the year, and I'd expect them to keep going with what she's doing.
Nice.
Good. Having elementary kids myself, I look forward to seeing the new menus.
All right. It's all of these. No, not even that. So be nice. So no public input. Our next meeting will be Thursday, September 26th. There will be a deliberative barring a no from a judge on September 3rd. That'll be at the school. But that will be hosted by the school. So we are welcome to attend, but we will not be hosting, I don't believe.
And then if we agree on September 5th, we'll do the
The-
walkthrough of the library, cable,
Oh.
fire, and town hall as well.
It's true. So I think we'll have to work with Troy to send a official meeting notice because if we have 5 people, there will be a,
Correct. So you're going to have that on September 5th, September 12th.
Yep.
Then our regular meeting, and then also one on September 30th.
yes.
We'll get to see a lot of each other.
Another meeting on the
It's
30th?
just
Oh, yeah,
getting
'cause
warmed
we're
up
going
for budget
weekly, right?
season.
Okay.
Following on the 30th is the review, according to the facilities, of solid waste,
Oh, okay.
the
Yep.
recycling and dog kennel.
And then the following week, we start budget
The
review.
dump.
Can you send out the schedule again?
Yes.
Thank you.
You didn't get it, Jess? I'm sorry.
It's probably lost in email. I know how
Or
that works.
our meeting schedule for the fall.
Yep. Just pretty much every Thursday until like
Would you like a hard copy?
mid-January.
I have the tour one.
Would you like a hard
Oh,
copy?
sure.
I like it.
It doesn't have the changes.
I basically see
Yeah.
everything.
So we'll have to add the other ones. They'll figure out how to do these blocks.
Thank you.
All right, so we covered everything on the agenda, except I messed up in the public input, so we'll have to make sure that that's their next meeting. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're good. All right, and abstain. So thank you very much. We will see you either in 2 weeks or in 4. Bye.
Sometimes.